me talk to you.
So let's go around the room. Let's give our scores. Give our offensive and defensive MVP. Lead us off, Stephen M. Then go to Steve Brown, and then Marvin. Now I'll close it out.
Score prediction right here. I got Bama 41, Michigan 14. Offensive player of the game, I'm going to go with Jalen Milroe. I think he puts on a show in this one. I think the passes to the boundary are going to be right there. The deep shots, he's going to take it. But I think his legs are going to play a very good role here in this game. So Jalen Milroe offensively. My defensive player of the game, come on, K'ing up Downs. I think K'ing up Downs sets the record in this game. He becomes the first freshman, 100 tackles, first Alabama safety to 100 tackles. Downs is a big game. And my surprise, Kobe Prentice. Watch him. I think he chirped a bit there against Auburn. He chirped a bit there against Georgia. Watch Kobe Prentice.
My score, I have two scores. I have Alabama 42, Michigan 14. And with the drone, I have Alabama 28, Michigan 21. The player of the game, I'm going to say Cam Miller and Roydell Williams on offense. And on defense, I'm going with my two guys, Malachi Moore and, of course, Terry Young. I got to go with those two.
If Michigan is smart, this is how they'll attack Bama. I would do my best to ensure that Bama only has 4 DBs or 5 DBs on that field. So you're going to have to do something to force them into potentially getting 5 DBs on the field. And even if it's 4, I think they're going to still take the same approach, meaning they know they want to run it off tackle, but Bama has the corners that can play man-to-man too damn good. And they have a single high safety that can stay over the top. So Michigan is going to expect that we're going to have 8 in the box at all times. And if you got an 8-man box, that's a difficult box to run against. So how do you loosen up a box? I think you're going to see a lot of that tight end running up the seam, trying to hold those safeties, which will then give them a 7-man box. And once you get those tight ends running those seam routes, look for those drag routes underneath. Another reason to make those defensive backs play deeper than in the box, which will then open up the run game for them, because ultimately that's what they want. They want to give it to Blake Corum off tackle, but they can't do that in an 8-man box. I think you're going to see a lot of that tight end running between those hashes with a lot of drags, 10 to 12 yards behind that tight end, so that those DBs will walk off. So that way they can open up those run lanes. If they don't do that, it's not going to work for them. And even if they do it, I think Caleb Downs is good enough at safety to where that won't even pose a threat. Ultimately, I see us winning this game 31-17. Player of the game, I'm going Amos and QB Killer. Those two are going to have a game of their life on Monday, baby.
What about offense?
Hold on, Marvin. Why Trey Amos?
Because if they're going to have to run that tight end up the seam, and they're going to run that drag route at 10 to 12, as much man as we play, you're going to see Amos in a lot of man-to-man situations. And I don't think that drag route is going to work on him. I don't think that dig route, which either one they try to run on him, I don't think is going to work on him, because most teams, they stay away from Kool-Aid and they always want to target Amos. But I think Amos is going to step up to the plate, and he's going to play the game of his life, and you're going to see QB Killer coming off that edge. And I wouldn't be surprised if McCarthy doesn't finish the game. McCarthy's not – he's going to have to get the ball out so quick not to take hits. But the way we play press man, it ain't going to happen. This game is set up for Dallas Turner to have the game of his life. Michigan wide receivers aren't the best. Come on now. And you're going to have to hold that ball to get it out. That press man coverage is too good by 1 and 3. So it's not going to happen. I'm telling you, either Dallas Turner or Amos going to be the player of the game. One of the two.
The guy that's going to be the player of the game, this big 96 Tim Keenan in the middle. Big 96 Tim Keenan in the middle going to help that player of the game.
Yeah.
Stephen Smith just named my defensive player of the game. I'm going to go with Tim Keenan. He's going to be an absolute nightmare for them up front, especially since they've been having problems as of late on that offensive line. There's no Zach Zinter to try to stop that monster, so they're going to have a problem. Offensively, I'm going to go with Amari Nablack. I don't think he's been used as much as he should have been thus far, but this is a game where he can really break out. I'm going to go Alabama 31, Michigan 21.
Time for just one more thing.
Guys, the other game. Who do you got?
As good as Michael Penix Jr. is, and he is, I think Bo Davis in Texas is going to have a field day trying definitely getting to him. So give me the horns.
The better offense wins. And honestly, because Texas back end is pretty much terrible, I think Washington might pull this one out. He has some world-class receivers. I think it's going to be a close game. It's going to be a high-scoring game. Washington is set up to score the most.
That Washington offense is very high-powered, very dynamic, very hard to deal with. Ultimately, I think they're going to be too much for Texas. Although I want Texas to win, I need Texas to win, and I need us to win because I got some money I need to get back from earlier September.
Oh, my
God.
God.
In the meantime, in between time, I actually like Washington to win 34-24. I don't think Texas will be able to keep up with Washington's offense. And like Steve said, Texas's secondary isn't the best.
Yeah, but their front seven is, and I don't think that Washington has faced this kind of physicality. You got guys in that front seven who are going to be day one, day two NFL draft picks. I love Michael Penix, and tremendous story, great comeback story, but they don't have the dudes to go against the bigger dudes. I think Texas is going to win handily 41-17.
Are you basing that on how Bama used to look when we played them?
What Bo Davis is doing at that front seven, they don't see in the Pac-12. They have guys that are going to hit you in the mouth and continue to beat you up. And they got that old whoop your ass. New whoop your ass gets up and walks away. Old whoop your ass stays on and keeps pounding. That's what Texas does.
You know what? I've never heard that from a white guy. I've never heard that term from you. Are true. Ladies and gentlemen, this year, I think Justin going to be black.